Hi, I'm A.C.Strange and this is Bad Movie Show, episode 26, the review show. So, it's been a whole year since we've been doing the Bad Movie Show, so happy anniversary. Yay! I wanted to do this show before the end of the last year, 2013, and that didn't happen. Life happens when you live it. So, I'm going to do it now. I'm going to review 3 movies I reviewed before, but I think I could have done a better job with the review. I've come a long way since the first episode, and I thought that these movies really needed a second chance. So, I'm giving them to you. To review, my name is Anne. I also go by the name of A.C.Strange. I am a horror writer. I also wrote a book called Sugar's House and Unforgivable. It's available on iUniverse.com. It's also available on Amazon.com if you're interested. It's 2 stories, and Sugar's House is about a girl named Frankie, her friends, and their downward spiral on drugs. And Unforgivable is about a woman and a terrible decision, and the man that was left to clean it up. This is my first book in print, and hopefully I have more coming. But if you're interested, pick up your copy, please. I also, watch a lot of movies, and I happen to like movies that most people don't like, hence the Bad Movie Show. And since I've been doing the show, I've realized that a lot more people like these movies than you think. I review a lot of horror movies, exploitation movies, a lot of crazy comedies, pothead movies, that kind of thing. And I've been having a great time doing the show, and I hope you enjoy it. So let's get to it, shall we? My first movie that I'm going to review comes from my first episode, and it was the second movie I reviewed, Chainsaw Sally, 2007, rated R. I did not describe this enough, okay? This is from Shakarama Cinema, written and directed by Jimmy O, starring April Monique Burrell as Sally. And there's cameos by Herschel Gordon-Lewis and Gunnar Hansen, who played the original Leatherface in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So we have Sally, who's a quiet librarian who likes her books returned on time and, the library quiet. She's also a psycho killer, dude. She's totally insane. And she's just out of her mind. When she was a kid, she saw her parents brutalized and murdered, and she was left alone on her farm with her brother Ruby, and they have a lot of land, 200 acres. Then we also have Harvey Benton, a land developer who wants to get a hold of that land. And then we have Steve Kellerman, who legally owns the land, and he's researching the family, what happened to the family that lived on that farm before he owned it, with Sally's help. Now, Sally does whatever she can to save her land as well as the town. Sally is a deliciously demented killer, okay? She likes to play with her victims, and her brother Ruby play their own home game versions of their favorite horror movies. Okay, they play a home game version of Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Toolbox Murders. So this is really kitschy, corny, and great. A lot of like nasty kills, a lot of just bizarreness, and Sally, she just loves what she does. So, and nobody, there's nothing better than a killer librarian. Okay. This gets a 4, and if you like what I reviewed before, buy it. But I give it a 4 and a see it to everybody. I am very surprised that more people don't talk about this movie. That's why I chose to do this for my first episode. And still, I'm on a bunch of horror forums, and still, nobody talks about it, nobody's heard about it. I think that's a cult classic in the making. And it's also done as a TV show, and the first 2 seasons are available on DVD. So I'll let you know what I think when I see it. Next up, I have Suburban Nightmare. It's from episode 4, the God Awful Love Story show. And this I didn't describe good enough either. I was like, oh, I like it, and that was it. And I thought that it deserved another chance. Now, this is Shakarama Cinema again, rated R 2004, written and directed by John Keyes, starring Trent Haga and Brandy Little as Charles and Deborah Rosenblatt. Now, Charles and Debbie have the appearance of a typical couple, modern American family, but they're really serial killing I did it again for this movie. Serial killing cannibals who eat their dinner guests. During a dinner party that Debbie was not ready for, Charlie kills the guest. And Debbie's really pissed off because that's not what she had planned for them. They get mad, they have a fight, they split up and try to calm down and come back together, and they do this a bunch of times, and then Charlie leaves and brings home a prostitute for his lovely wife. And she's fine up until the point where the hooker pays more attention to Charlie than her, and she kills her and gets pissed off, and then they have a gigantic fight and throughout the rest of the film. This is relatable. I think if we are with somebody, all of us have had this type of fight. Of course, we don't leave a body trail all over our house, but still, it's relatable. It's not like a typical horror movie. It's filled with lots of dialogue, but when we get to the fighting towards the end, it's pretty gnarly. I dig this movie a lot, and I'm surprised that a lot of other reviewers like it as much as I do. And like I said before, I think Charlie's sexy, and Debbie's a badass. They're two very different killers. Charlie likes poison and he does the cooking, and then you have Debbie, who's very violent, brutal. She likes bats, knives, she likes bashing heads in, and she keeps a human pet in her basement. So my favorite part is the background. A lot of independent guerrilla films kind of skip the set dressing, and in this movie they really made the house Charlie and Debbie's house. So that's something I like about this film. This also inspires me to write. I said that the last time. So I say 4 and a see it. Okay? If you haven't noticed watching this show, a lot of my favorite independent low-budget films are 4 and see it. So if you're looking for something that I really like, check those out. Okay? Last but not least, Freeway. I did this in episode 12. I give it a very short review because I was mostly reviewing Freeway 2. But I think that this is worth talking about all the time. This is Freeway 1996, rated R, Republic Pictures, written and directed by Matthew Bright, starring Reese Witherspoon, Kiefer Sutherland, Brooke Shields, Dan Hedaya, and has a cameo by Brittany Murphy, who I love and miss very much. So this is about Vanessa Lutz, who's an illiterate teenager, and she goes on a long road trip to find her grandmother after her mother and her stepfather Larry gets arrested and go to jail for a very long time. After her car breaks down on the freeway, she meets Bob Wolverton, a very nice, kind man who she later finds out is really the high-five killer who's been killing girls up and down the freeway. And before he gets to do all kinds of nasty things to Vanessa, she shoots him a whole bunch of times and then gets caught red-handed and has to go to prison. But her prison can't even hold Vanessa from getting to her final destination, which is Grandma's house. This is a badass, bizarre trip of fun, okay? I love this movie. I've recited this for years. This is still one of my favorite movies, and I think everybody should see it. I think most chicks my age already have this in their collection, which has always been a big surprise to me. But if you haven't seen it, put this on your list, okay? This is lots of fun and worth seeing. I want to thank you for your support in the last year. Doing this show is one of the best things I've ever done, and I've learned a lot about movies, about myself, about my marriage, and you know, it's just helped a lot. I'd like to do a lot more in the next year. I'd like to have some interviews, some guests, and do more themes. I'm going to be doing the cannibal show soon, Crazy Bikers, and another female psycho show. And I'd like to know what you think. What kind of themes do you want me to do? Do you have any movies that you really like that I haven't reviewed yet that you think people should know about? Please let me know. Leave a comment down below. And as always, watch more movies. I'm A.C.Strange, and this is a bad movie show. Good night.